You stare at the screen as midnight edges toward dawn. The endless scroll of posts and stories blurs together, each image demanding a reaction. Yet behind the flicker of dopamine from every like or new follower, you feel it. A gnawing anxiety, an emptiness that only grows with every swipe. In the silent darkness of your room, the phone's glow paints your face in pale blue. You wonder, why does this connected world leave me feeling so alone? Your mind is caught in a quiet crisis of meaning, and you are not alone in this feeling. It's a silent epidemic of the modern psyche. Social media anxiety has become the background hum of our lives, a subtle panic whispering, "You're falling behind, you're not enough." We live in an age of hyperconnection but also deep isolation. The collective stories and values that once gave us purpose are crumbling, leaving us wandering through a labyrinth of shimmering screens without a compass, searching in vain for something to fill the void. But what if this very anxiety is not just a curse of our times, but also a call to adventure? What if it is your psyche's way of signaling that something essential is missing, that you need to turn away from the neon glare of the feed and seek nourishment in deeper, quieter places? As one wise psychologist observed, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Those words come from Carl Jung, and they ring more true now than ever. They remind us that when the outside world becomes overwhelming, the only answer is to turn inward.
And in this late-night moment of truth, that is exactly what you are being called to do, to stop scrolling and start soul-searching. Instead of pouring your energy outward, we will journey inward. Over the next few minutes, you will embark on a different kind of adventure, not through the endless corridors of the internet, but through the depths of your own mind. Using a powerful technique Jung developed called active imagination, you can learn to deactivate that spiraling social media anxiety by confronting it at its source and reconnecting with the parts of yourself that truly matter.
For Jung, the anxieties and neuroses of modern life were not random. They were messages from the unconscious that something is out of balance. Your social media anxiety is one of these messages. Rather than numb it or run from it, we are going to face it directly, symbolically and compassionately, just as a mythic hero might face a dragon in the dark forest. And like in the old stories, you may find that the dragon was guarding a treasure all along. In Jungian psychology, that dragon of anxiety can be understood as an aspect of your shadow, the hidden side of your personality, where all the parts you've ignored or repressed reside. The treasure it guards is what you truly seek, your authentic self, your wholeness and self-worth, which have been buried under layers of fear and pretense. Why do those treasures get buried? Often because of the other side of this inner equation, the persona, the social mask you wear. Think of the persona as the curated identity you present to the world, especially on social media. Every filtered photo, every witty caption or positive update forms a mask designed to win approval and admiration. We polish this mask to a shine, hoping to be liked both literally and figuratively. But the more we identify with this ideal persona, the more we feel a disconnect behind the scenes. The aspects of ourselves that don't fit the ideal, the insecurity, the envy, the loneliness, get pushed into the shadow, where they fester. Each time you scroll and compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, you might feel a sting, a twinge of envy, a pang of inadequacy, a flare of self-doubt. We often swipe those feelings away, back into the shadow because they don't match the persona we want to uphold. But what happens to emotions we refuse to face? They don't vanish. They gather in the shadow like storm clouds, heavy with rain, waiting for the moment to burst. Your social media anxiety is like that storm. It is the tension between the mask and the shadow, between who you pretend to be and what you fear you might be lacking. The more you chase validation through the persona, the louder the shadow knocks from beneath, saying, "I am still here, you can't ignore me." This inner conflict churns out anxiety, the uneasy sense that you're never enough, that you might be exposed, that you're perpetually missing out on something vital. It's as if your psyche is split in two, tugging at itself. Jung wrote that we all create a persona to navigate society, but he warned never to mistake it for the true self. The self, with a capital S, is the wholeness of your being, the complete you, which includes both your conscious persona and your unconscious shadow, and so much more. Social media makes it dangerously easy to believe that persona is everything, cutting you off from the rest of your psyche. The result, a fragile sense of identity that constantly needs external validation, and a shadow bursting at the seams with unacknowledged emotion. On top of this, there's another psychological trick at play: projection. We humans tend to project our own feelings onto the world around us, and social media is a perfect stage for this unconscious play. Perhaps you see an influencer's smiling photos and you imagine their life is perfect. That's your own yearning and idealization projected onto their image. Or you notice yourself feeling irrationally upset when a post of yours gets few reactions. A part of you might project judgment or rejection onto your silent audience, when in reality, those feelings originate within you. In scrolling through 100 lives, you're really encountering many parts of yourself in disguise. Social media is like a hall of mirrors, each post reflecting bits of your own hopes and fears, magnified and distorted. Without realizing it, you are emotionally reacting to your own reflections projected onto others. All the while, your precious psychic energy is being drained. Every time you anxiously check your phone, every dopamine rush from a new like, or the hollow disappointment when nothing happens, it's consuming the energy of your psyche. Think of psychic energy as your inner battery for attention and emotion. Social media is a formidable siphon. It hooks your attention and milks it with endless novelty and comparison. Over time, this constant outward gaze leaves you mentally and emotionally exhausted. The psyche has been sending out feelers into the digital void all day, hoping to find nourishment, but returns home empty-handed and depleted. Little by little, anxiety grows out of this depletion and imbalance. So here you are, caught between the persona you strain to maintain and the shadow clamoring for acknowledgement, projecting your inner needs onto external images, and running low on psychic fuel. It might feel like a hopeless tangle, but this is precisely the point where a turning inward can spark change. The knot of anxiety isn't untangled by more scrolling or more striving. It's loosened by insight and integration. This is where Jung's concept of active imagination comes in, as a way to begin healing the split within and reclaiming your energy from the maze. No amount of endless scrolling or overthinking can untie the knot we described. We need a different approach, one that speaks the psyche's own language of images, symbols, and feelings. This is why Carl Jung developed the practice of active imagination. It's a technique to bridge your conscious mind with the unconscious, allowing you to interact with the inner figures and emotions that usually only appear in dreams or fantasies. So what exactly is active imagination? In simple terms, it's like dreaming on purpose. You allow your mind to drift into a spontaneous visual scene, and then you engage with whatever shows up as if it were real. Instead of passively watching a daydream, you become a participant in it. You can ask questions of the images that arise, dialogue with them, even change things in the imagination, and see how the inner figures respond. It's a conversation with your own soul, carried out in the language of imagination. Jung himself practiced this during a difficult period of his life. He would sit in his study, close his eyes, and deliberately let his mind conjure up characters and scenarios, a wise old man, a child, heroes and demons, and he would talk to them, draw them, write down what happened. Through this process, he found guidance and insight that pure intellect alone could not provide. He called these experiences active imagination because he actively engaged with the imagination, not just letting it run wild,
but also not forcing it, a collaboration between your will and the unconscious images. When it comes to you and the anxiety you feel, active imagination can become a safe and creative way to confront those feelings. Think of it as entering a private theater where your inner conflicts will play out as symbolic drama. You don't need any special skills to do this, just openness and a willingness to trust whatever images arrive. There is no right or wrong way for the imagination to unfold. Your psyche will show you what you need to see. It might be straightforward, or it might be surreal and strange, but that's okay. Sometimes the unconscious speaks in myths and metaphors that our conscious mind doesn't immediately understand, but they carry a personal meaning you can unpack gradually.
Through active imagination, you will be doing a form of shadow work, meeting the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, but in a controlled, symbolic environment. Instead of those parts ambushing you with anxiety in the middle of the night, you will approach them on your terms, with curiosity and compassion. By acknowledging and conversing with your shadow, you begin to integrate it. This is a step on the path of individuation, Jung's term for the process of becoming a whole, authentic individual. Individuation means peeling away the false masks and reintegrating the lost pieces of yourself, ultimately aligning with your deeper self. In this journey, you might encounter what Jung called archetypes, universal figures or motifs, like a wise guide, a hero, a child, or even a dragon, because our personal story unfolds with the same symbols found in myths and fairy tales. Don't be surprised if some archetypal image appears. It's a sign that you're touching something fundamental in your psyche. Before we begin the exercise, remember that the goal here isn't to get rid of your anxiety by force. It's to understand it, to listen to it, and by doing so, to transform your relationship with it. Often, when you truly see and hear the neglected parts of yourself, they no longer need to scream for attention through anxiety. They can instead become allies, sources of strength and insight. Now, let's prepare for the journey inward. Find a comfortable, quiet place where you won't be disturbed for the next 10 minutes or so. You may sit or lie down, whatever helps you relax, but stay alert. If you like, you can pause this audio for a moment to settle in. All right. Start by taking a few slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply and exhale, letting tension melt away. Feel the weight of your body supported by the chair or bed, and allow yourself to be here, in this moment. Close your eyes gently. Together, we're going to step into the theater of your mind. As we begin, remember, be open to whatever experiences come. I will guide you with imagery, but if your mind leads you somewhere slightly different, that's okay. Follow it. This is your active imagination, your inner journey. Let's start. One more tip as we begin. You might wonder if you're doing it right, or if you're just inventing whatever comes. It's natural to feel that way. Remember, even if you feel like you are making it up, those images and stories are arising from you. They reflect truths about your inner state, whether directly or through metaphor. So don't worry about whether it's real or imaginary. In this realm, imagined experiences can reveal real insights. Also, it's okay if you don't see vivid pictures. Not everyone visualizes strongly, and that's fine. You might instead sense emotions, or get a vague impression, or even just have thoughts and words flow. However it unfolds for you is the right way. Trust that whatever happens in your mind is what needs to happen. Importantly, keep an attitude of openness and compassion toward yourself. You are entering your own inner space. Nothing you encounter is truly alien. It all represents parts of your psyche. If something frightening or unsettling appears, remember that it cannot actually harm you. It's like a character in a dream. In fact, often the scariest figures transform into something helpful once you acknowledge and understand them. Throughout this process, you remain the gentle observer and creator of the experience. If at any point you feel overwhelmed, you can simply open your eyes and take a break, knowing you can return whenever you want. But I encourage you to push a little past the discomfort if you can, because that's often where the breakthrough lies, just beyond the dragon's lair, where the treasure awaits. Let's take a brief countdown to guide you in.
3. Feel the world around you begin to fade. Your focus turns entirely inward. 2. A calm darkness surrounds you, a fertile void behind your closed eyes. It's like a stage with the lights dimmed, ready for the inner play to begin. 1. An image is starting to form in this darkness. A scene, a place where your journey will unfold, begins to emerge. Now, let it become clear.
You find yourself standing at twilight before an ancient forest. In the side of a mossy hill ahead, there is a dark mouth of a cave. The air is cool and still, and the woods are quiet. This is the threshold of your inner world. Look down and notice that in your hand, you are holding a lantern. Its golden light flickers gently, illuminating the path ahead. Curiously, this lantern feels familiar, as if it was forged from your intention to find clarity. In fact, you realize it appeared where your phone once was. The device that lit up your face in blue a moment ago has transformed into this warm, guiding light. With lantern in hand, you take a deep breath of the fresh air and step forward, toward the beckoning path. You begin to walk forward, leaving the noise of the outside world behind and venturing deeper into the heart of your psyche. The ground is solid beneath you. You hear the crunch of leaves underfoot as you approach the cave, then the soft echo of your steps as you enter. The air carries the scent of earth and damp stone, something ancient and alive. You might feel a mix of curiosity and nerves, but the warm light of your lantern reassures you. As you move deeper, your lantern reveals faint markings on the cave walls, symbols and shapes, perhaps faces or figures that stir memory. They might remind you of the outside world, but as soon as you notice them, they fade away. Those echoes hold no power here. Only what is real and essential to you remains.
Eventually, you step into a wide cavern, the heart of the cave. A shaft of pale moonlight falls through a crack in the ceiling, just enough to glint on the damp walls. It is quiet, but you sense you are not alone. You slowly sweep your lantern around. "Is anyone there?" You call softly into the shadows. Your voice echoes. Then, at the edge of the light, something moves. A shape steps forward in halting, hesitant motions, revealing itself. This is your shadow. See it clearly now. It might have a human form shrouded in darkness, or perhaps it's a wild creature with glowing eyes. It could even look like a version of you. Large and intimidating or small and vulnerable, whatever its appearance, know that this figure embodies your social media anxiety and the hidden feelings that come with it. You might feel uneasy facing this presence, but remember what you learned. Approach with curiosity and compassion. This shadow part of you has something important to say. Notice its eyes. Are they angry or sad or pleading? Notice its posture, aggressive or defensive or fearful. It has been in the dark for a long time, carrying the weight of all those rejected feelings.
Raise your lantern a little to shine light upon this creature or figure. You are in control here. You have the light. Gently, you speak to the shadow. "I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to understand." The figure reacts, perhaps a hiss of breath or a tilt of the head in surprise. For so long, it expected you to avoid or judge it, and now you're doing the opposite. Now ask your shadow a question directly. Why are you here? What do you need me to know? Then fall silent and receptive, giving it space to respond. This may be the first time you have truly asked this part of yourself what it wants.
Listen patiently. Perhaps the shadow finally speaks. It might whisper, "I am hurt that you never see me," or "I'm terrified will never be enough." Maybe you glimpse memories of rejection or feel a wave of sadness. Whatever comes, let it come. This is truth rising from deep within you. You nod, holding the lantern steady, bathing this troubled figure in a warm glow. Acknowledge what it has shared. I hear you, you say softly. I'm sorry you've been carrying this alone. Thank you for telling me. As you speak these words, you notice the shadow's form shifting slightly. Perhaps the monstrous edge softens. If it was a fierce creature, maybe it lowers its head or folds its wings. If it was a smaller being, maybe it steps a bit closer into the light, revealing eyes full of longing. Speak from your heart to this shadow. Perhaps you say, I hear you, and I'm sorry I've left you in the dark for so long. I won't abandon you again. We will face life together. Feel those words resonate in the space between you. If it feels right, you step forward and gently embrace this long-lost part of you. For a moment, the barrier between you dissolves, and you feel unity and compassion flow through you.
Take a deep breath together. As you inhale and exhale, watch the figure begin to change. The darkness around it fades. It may even flow into your body now, not as anxiety, but as newfound strength and insight. A gentle warmth blooms in your chest as you reclaim this part of yourself. Look around you now. The darkness in the cavern has receded. Where the shadowy figure once hid, something now catches your eye, a soft gleam on the ground. Move your lantern toward it. There, you find a gift left behind in the shadow's wake. It could be anything, maybe a small wooden chest or a glowing orb of light.
Pick it up gently and hold it in your hands. As you do, you realize it symbolizes something you have long needed. Perhaps a deep sense of self-worth or the freedom of knowing that you are truly enough, exactly as you are. Whatever it is, this treasure was hidden in darkness and now it's yours again.
Take the symbol of your treasure and press it to your heart. Imagine it sinking into you, warm and glowing. It merges with your very being, a part of you that is back where it belongs. This is a piece of yourself, reclaimed. Feel the glow in your chest spreading through your body, filling the places that used to feel empty or anxious with new strength and understanding. You take another deep breath, letting this victory imprint itself in your memory. You have done something brave and important here. Before leaving, you glance at the being that once embodied your anxiety. How does it appear now? Perhaps it has vanished, or perhaps it remains but in a gentler form, a quiet presence watching you with respect. This part of you is no longer an enemy. If it ever stirs again, it will be a messenger, not a monster, and you will remember how to meet it with awareness and compassion, as you did today. It's time to return to the outer world. Holding your lantern high and keeping the treasure in your heart, you turn back the way you came. As you walk through the tunnel toward the cave's entrance, notice the darkness is not so daunting now. You emerge from the cave into the forest pre-dawn light. The trees around you are bathed in the gentle gray before sunrise.
Step by step, you make your way out of the cave and forest. The first rays of sunrise touch your face. The long night has passed, and a new day is beginning. The sky is painted with gentle gold and pink light. A cool breeze greets you, and you realize the heaviness in your chest has lifted. Now take a final look at your inner scene and let it begin to dissolve, knowing you can return here whenever you need. Bring your attention back to your body in the present. Feel your steady breathing. Wiggle your fingers and toes, noticing each sensation. After this deep journey, you return to waking reality, feeling calmer and stronger. When you feel ready, gently open your eyes and let the outer world come back into focus, carrying with you the insight and peace you gained.
Welcome back to the present. Notice how you feel now, perhaps calmer, more grounded. The anxiety that gripped you before has loosened. In just 10 minutes of inner exploration, you accomplished what hours of anxious scrolling never could. You reconnected with something true within you. This symbolic journey you took is not a one-time magic trick. It's the beginning of a new relationship with yourself. In a world where collective meaning often feels like it's collapsing, you have tapped into a personal wellspring of meaning. This is how we survive and grow, by turning inward to find our own guiding light when the external lights fail. What you just practiced is a step on the path of individuation, the lifelong journey Carl Jung spoke of, where you integrate your persona with your shadow, and in doing so, move closer to your true self. Think about it. The shadow you faced, the treasure you reclaimed, these were meaningful, not random. They were messages from your psyche, gifts of insight wrapped in metaphor. That is the power of symbolic reawakening. In our digital age, we often neglect the imaginative, symbolic layer of life. Yet it's there that our psyche finds healing and meaning. By reviving it, you're reclaiming an inner compass to guide you through chaos. Going forward, whenever that familiar social media anxiety creeps up, remember this journey. Instead of getting lost in the infinite scroll, pause and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and recall the lantern's glow, the path you walked, the understanding you gained. The more you do this, the less power those external comparisons and fears will have over you. You'll navigate the online world with more resilience because you know your worth isn't determined by any algorithm or number. It's rooted in the wholeness inside you. At Psyche Survivalist, our mission is to help you do exactly this, to survive the collapse of collective meaning by finding your individual path and reawakening the symbols of your soul. By taking this journey, you have become a Psyche Survivalist. Even in a disorienting digital era, you've shown you can find solid ground within your own being. As you step back into your day, carry this confidence with you. You have an anchor now in the quiet truth of your inner self. Thank you for journeying with us today. And remember, who looks inside, awakes. Stay awake, stay true to yourself, and until next time, take care of your psyche.